support of fellowship. I introduced myself that way because I was sitting at a meeting early in my recovery. My sponsorship introduced himself that way, and I said to myself, why the heck don't you give yourself credit? And every time I gave myself credit for losing weight, I put it back on. My history is a yo-yo dieter. My adult weight ranged from 135 pounds to 210 pounds, and my height was only 5'5". My accident date is August 14th of 1999, and that's when I got a sponsor in this program because I can't do this program alone. So what I was like, well, I was a grazer, I was a binger. My mom was one of us. She's a big woman most of her life. And, she taught me how to eat. I remember going food shopping with her as a kid, and we'd go down the aisle where they have the cookies, and she would poke holes in the packages and steal food. And that's what I did. In fact, she had to stop me one day because I was going down to every single package in the aisle, opening them. But I saw a picture of myself when I was 9 years old, and I was a skinny little kid. And I saw another picture of myself when I was 12 years old, and all I could see was bulging cheeks because that's where I carried a lot of my weight. And I wondered what was the change between 9 and 12, and what it was is that I had lost a close aunt and a close uncle. I lost my uncle 3 months before my bar mitzvah, and I became angry at God, and I needed something to fill that hole that those people provided in me, and I was overweight as a kid, as I was saying, at around 12. Shopped in the Husky department. And I grew up in the inner city where, a lot of kids in the neighborhood, we played ball. And I was always the last to be chosen for teams, except when it came to football season, because I could take up so much space on the line. And I was bullied a lot because of my weight, I believe. And I was physically abused as my mom. I loved her dearly, and I did make amends with her at her grave. But, she's from the era where, save the rod and spoil the child. So she was a disciplinarian in my family, and I remember several times running behind my grandfather who lived with us and looking for protection. Remember one time my uncle yelling, "You gotta kill that kid." So I guess it was, and I didn't even realize that until I came in a program. And that really set up fear, doubt, a life of fear, doubt, and low self-esteem. I lost a little bit of weight in high school, and I think it was because, I met, I was kind of interested in girls. And December of my senior year, I met this girl, and I thought to myself, I've got to hang on to this girl because I'm going to need a date for the prom, because I didn't think, I could get one. Well, 5 years later, I married that woman. we're still married. It's been a rough 51 years, but we became eating buddies. I ate through college. I got married my senior year in college, and 2 years later was a father. My wife put on 60 pounds. I put on 40 pounds. And you could tell how my life was going by the size of my body. When I was 30 years old, my son, who was 5 years old at the time, was fooling around at the dinner table. And I got angry, and I picked up my arm to hit him, and I swore I would never do that. And I just said to myself, this has got to stop. This anger. Went down to the nearest emergency room and got into therapy. And it's funny, my therapist was a compulsive overeater who didn't believe in OA. But I said to me, what do you want to do? And I said, well, look at me. You know, I weighed 210 pounds then. And he hypnotized me. I lost 60 pounds in 6 months. I would not advise anyone to do that. I was starving myself. I didn't have a program. I carried around a calorie counter, a little pocketbook, and was driving myself crazy. I threw myself into work, trying to stay away as much as possible because, all the problems that I had with my family, I didn't want to face them. And again, I was one angry SOB with my family. And little by little, I put most of that weight back on. In 1990, this coworker of mine, I'm a retired school teacher. We came back after summer break. She had lost some weight over the summer. But she was also very different. She had a boyfriend. She had a lot of things that changed in her life. And she saw, that I had put my weight back on. And she showed me the 15 questions for OA. I answered them all yes. And then she showed me the 12 steps. And I read step 3, I'll turn my will and my life over to God. To God. I saw the word God, and I said, I'm not going to have anything to do with this cult. Again, I had thrown God out the window when my uncle died before my bar mitzvah, because he wasn't there. He wasn't there with me. My mom died in 94. My binging really took off. In February of 1999, a good friend of mine, she weighed over 300 pounds, went into the hospital. They took off a leg. She had diabetes and caught an infection, and she died. In the last 5 years of her life, when I would talk to her, I usually would scold her, if you will, about eating the way she was eating. And then, of course, in secret, I was eating the same way. We went back to be with her family after the funeral, and I was wearing out a path between the living room and the kitchen where all the sweet stuff was. And I just turned to my wife and I said, this got to stop, because I was going to be the next person that they're going to bury. A few weeks later, I wound up at my first meeting. I was looking for the diet, the one that would help me lose weight. I heard a guy qualify early on, talking about eating out of the garbage. And, and I realized I was home. Somebody else actually did that. I would take a container of the cold stuff, and swore, I wasn't a person that sat down with a big bowl. I was the person who would fight with himself, walk back and forth from the refrigerator and whatever, swearing I would not go back again. And I always did. So I would place it in the garbage so it wouldn't get covered, so I could take it out and finish eating. That's the kind of eater I was. When I came in a program, actually, I was binging on healthy food. I was about 195 at the time. I didn't want to see that scale go over 200 again. But for 4 months, I was afraid to ask anybody to sponsor me. I had gotten a few numbers, but never called the people. And I was going to one men's meeting in the Boston area. And in August 14th, a guy came back to the meeting. He had been away for 3 months. I learned later that he was abstinent. And instead of telling food stories, he was talking about recovery. And he must have heard me talking about food stories because he called me the next morning. And we talked for a while. And I said, gee, I really enjoyed talking to you. Can I call you tomorrow? I called him for 2 years. And he said to me, okay, let me give you a food plan. I said, I don't need one. I know how to diet. So he said, okay, let's work the steps. And it was wonderful. We took 14 months, went through the steps, and it was great. Greatest gift I've ever gotten. I hit my goal weight in January of 2021. I've been at a normal sized body since then. It's January of 2000, I'm sorry. My sponsor gave me the best Christmas present that year like I've ever had. He gave me an appointment with a nutritionist who understands our program. And I've been on one of her food plans for the past 21 years. I've had to modify it as I got older and had medical issues. But and come to find out that she was the person who wrote the Dignity of Choice pamphlet. God has been working in my life for a while. I like to say, that recovery has been easy. It's simple, but not easy. I have to work all my tools every day. I've had 3 miracles. I have many miracles that have happened, but 3 miracles in particular. I've had 3 different cases of cancer, 3 kinds of cancer, and the way they were discovered was through miracles. They were discovered before they spread. My last was in 2015. I choked on a piece of steak. They did an emergency endoscopy, found out I had stomach cancer. And stomach cancer is a killer because I had no symptoms. I had no symptoms at all. I went through 2 surgeries. I could not have done that without the support of people in program. Had to change my food plan drastically. And I'm cancer-free today. I'm so grateful. So grateful. Okay. I try to practice all of my tools every day. I go to 4 committed meetings a week. I wake up in the morning. First thing I do is read page 85 and 86 out of the Big Book Upon Awakening. Write a letter to God. I take calls from my sponsees. I used to call my sponsor every day. Now I call him 3 days a week, and more if I need to. I do. When I came into to program 22 years ago, my biggest fear was, what do I do when I retire? Am I gonna be able to make it? Because I worked at the same job for 39 years. And at the age of 65, 3 years after I retired from public school teaching, I was still working though. I bought my first house. I have money in the bank. I made amends with my son, and my son, let's see if we can show this to you guys. My son's a musician, so he gave me this shirt, Grateful Dad instead of Grateful Dead. But this means so much to me because I had to make amends to him because I was a horrible dad. I was into food when he was growing up, and I've made amends with him. My grandkids don't know the angry me. Before I go to bed, I do a 10-step inventory. If I have nothing to make an amends for, I will write a gratitude list. And again, I don't know what I would do without this program. I'd probably be dead 20 years ago when my kidney cancer was discovered because I was taking care of myself. I had kidney stones, and because when I was in the food, I never wanted to take care of myself. There was one time when I was in the food that I stayed away from the dentist for 5 years, and I've had to pay for it because of that. But people say 20. How can you do it? I do it one day at a time. And if you're new or if you're coming back, and you have one day, if you're absent today, you have as much absence as I do, because the person the longest abstinence is the person that got up the earliest today. I had promised my sponsor when I retired that I would do service above the group level. And I had a commitment. So I was intergroup rep, recording secretary in the intergroup, and now I'm treasurer of the men's intergroup. And my first sponsor taught me service will keep you abstinent, and I have found that. So I want to thank Rick for letting me do service today. It's a great way to end a Father's Day. I was with my grandkids for 4 hours, and the old Edward said, "What? They weren't here all day?" But I've learned to accept the way things are, and appreciate what I have, not look at what I don't have. So acceptance is the answer to all my problems today. So thank you for letting me share.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks.